There are signs the U.S. housing market is starting to slow down. Home prices declined slightly in February for the first time in almost 11 years, but many Americans are already in trouble.
We all feel this sense of hopelessness because even though we are out here, we protest, even though we are giving it so much, it just feels like nobody's listening to us.
The rule of thumb is to spend less than 30% of your income on your home, whether you rent or own. That isn't happening. On average, we're spending a third of our budget on housing. For single parents, it's closer to 40%. And the impact of these higher costs can be felt in any community you walk into.
We can't afford to live where we want to work or where it's convenient to get to work. That limits our job prospects and our career aspirations considerably.
Hawaii is everything. Of course, it's very beautiful. The weather is beautiful, but that deeper connection to a place that you only get when it's related to you. That is what they have.
Visually and communally, it's hard to argue with the way Lahua Kalima describes Hawaii.
This is by Waimea Bay is over here.
She grew up there. She raised her kids there.
Here's me and the boys at the beach.
So imagine how she felt when she had to leave.
It was nearly impossible. I was at the verge of you move, I'm gonna stay here.
Nearly 3 years ago, Kalima and her husband left the Hawaiian Islands for Clark County, Nevada. Every year, more than 7 million Americans move to a different state. The Kalimas represent a growing group who do so for finances first.
We were already working really hard to make ends meet, but with 3 college tuitions now to pay, and this was almost impossible.
United Van Lines has long tracked state-by-state migration, as well as the main reasons people move. In 2018, nearly half said they switched states for reasons of employment. 4 years later, only a third said that. A rising number said they wanted to be close to family, and 8% claimed a reason that 3 years earlier wasn't even on the survey: improved cost of living.
Dollars and cents wise, it's a no-brainer. But that part of me that fed my spirit and my soul and had that connection, I put my feet on the sand and I knew that I was home. I knew that I wouldn't have that for a while.
What she would have
Hi, welcome in.
are regular reminders.
Have fun, Tempora.
What do they call Las Vegas?
They call Las Vegas the 9th island because there's so many of us here.
Can help you over here when you're ready.
The census says Clark County, Nevada holds roughly 20,000 Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders.
Thank you so much for waiting.
It feels like half that many show up for lunch at Poke Express.
Hi, welcome in.
We don't go to the beach and have barbecues. We go to somebody's backyard and have a barbecue. You have roots in a place. You have a relationship with a place, with a piece of land. Only then can you really understand what it's like to have to go away from it.
So many of the stories we tell come back to 2 seemingly unrelated points. 1, it's hard for many to find affordable housing. 2, what matters for a rising number of Americans is quality of life beyond their jobs. For Kalima,
This is at my sister's birthday party.
for millions like her,
My brother, my 3 sisters.
those 2 points lead away from home and perhaps to finding home in a new place.
The things that we do in life don't always necessarily keep us in one place. Sometimes it takes us to all kinds of different places, but it's necessary because, it'll take us to where we're eventually supposed to be.
One of the big things that we heard from young people is that rent is too damn high.
While rent prices are up across the board over the last 2 years, Gen Z is getting hit hardest. Median rent for that age group went up 16% from 2021 to 2022. For baby boomers, rent prices only rose 3% over the same time frame.
It's kind of become where you have to be an entrepreneur of multiple sorts to be able to kind of make ends meet in this town in the current market.
The younger generation is looking for change. An overwhelming majority of 18 to 34-year-olds support government limits on rent increases, a controversial policy that many experts believe would fail.
Anything that is done to impose regulation and price controls only drives away potential new construction and new development.
But for most, the specific plan is not important. 9 out of 10 young people said they would support any policies that guarantee reasonable, predictable rents going forward. That stability could eventually help those renters become homeowners.
I think I would still buy if I found the right opportunity, just because like home ownership, that's definitely like the American dream.
As a parent, this next story is something that I know well, and that is that daycare many times can cost as much as a mortgage payment. We'll be taking a look at some of the efforts to bring the price down next on The Race.